Hello everybody and welcome back to Robert's Reviews. I have a funny story for you, but first I'm going to tell you what this video is all about. This video is all about Romeo and Juliet. Romeo and Juliet was made in 1996. It was written by Shakespeare, Craig Pierce and Baz Luhrmann, and it was directed by Baz Luhrmann as well. Quick funny story before I get started. For one, as you may notice, look at the camera quality. It's so much better. Oh my gosh. Oh, it just came in this morning, and here's a funny story. So, I plug it in, and the light here, there's a light here, and it works. And I'm like, yay, the light works. That's really great, right? And then what happens was, I'm like, oh, but the camera quality is kind of meh. So I was very concerned because I spent money on it. I didn't want to waste it on something that wasn't going to work. So I was a little disappointed. But then, while I was filming this review earlier, I was like, wow, the camera quality really isn't that great. I'm wondering if there's something wrong. And so I moved my camera up to point of the camera, and it didn't work. It was kind of weird. And I was like, why? And I realized I was just using the same camera as before. The only difference is the light. So then I figured out how to plug it in. And I knew it was plugged in, but I need to figure out how to change the port. It works, and now look at it. It looks so much better. The grains are all gone. It has autofocus. I've never had focus before. The only problem that I have is that it is reflipped. It is reflippy-flapped. Reflippy-flap, reflippy-flap, reflippy-flapped. So when I raise my right hand, it appears on the left side of the screen. So, pardon that for a little bit, because for a while I'll probably be messing some stuff up there. Also, eye contact. I realized that normally I talk here, where I should be up here now. A lot of the time I'll probably be standing here, because this is where my camera is on my screen. But I need to get used to looking right here into you guys, which is just a webcam. So I need to start working on that aspect. So, pardon me as I get there. But let's talk about Romeo and Juliet for about 8 minutes. So, this is the next thing on my on my Leonardo Dicaprio list. Except for Total Eclipse, I think it was. I looked everywhere and I couldn't find it for rent or on any of my streaming services that I have, which I have almost every streaming service, and I couldn't find it anywhere. So pardon me while I skipped that one as well. So far we skipped Total Eclipse, and we skipped another one from earlier on the same series. I don't know why they're not showing up. It's kind of annoying. There's nothing I can really do about it. I'm sorry about that. Hopefully we'll find them at some point. We can add them to the list. If not, it's not a huge deal. It's only 2 movies, so it's not a huge deal. Also, quick note, I'm using the microphone on the camera, so let me know if it's better, if it's worse for you guys. I can go back to using my regular microphone that I have here if you wish, if it's better for you guys, or I can stick with this one, whatever you guys prefer. Also, note the decorations. Oh, this is hard. Okay. Note the decorations I have. Oh, it's so hard. I put a bunch of stuff. That's a Marvel poster. Oh, this is mirrored. It's hard. Right here, you see this like Spider-Man thing? Like the cool painting? That was my friend Sophia Root. Shout out to Sophia Root. But yeah, nice backgrounds and stuff. So yeah, back to the review. So Romeo and Juliet, I've obviously read the play a bunch of times. I've seen a couple renditions of it on YouTube and stuff, but I've never actually watched the movie before. So I was pretty excited to watch it, to be honest with you, because I love it when they can take things. Oh, I shaved, by the way. Hope you probably noticed that. I like it when they can take old plays and they can transport them to movies and make them relevant in modern day society. Because honestly, Shakespeare's kind of old. So it's nice to see that they can do that. And I was also a little nervous. So my excitement and my nervousness boiled together, and I was like, I'm watching it right now. It was early morning, and I'm like, you know what? That's it. We're doing this right now. And we did. I did it right now. I just did it like a couple hours ago. And I really, really, really enjoyed this movie. And for the first time, I think, in a while, I think for the first time in any time so far in my Leonardo DiCaprio series, I'm more impressed with the overall movie than with Leonardo DiCaprio. Because most of the time, I'm just entranced in Leonardo DiCaprio. Oh, The Basketball Diaries was the movie. I remember. We had to skip The Basketball Diaries and The Total Eclipse. Anyway, Leonardo DiCaprio normally is the star of a show. Normally he's like all I care about when I'm watching the movie with him in it. So far in the past like 3 that I've reviewed or so. So I was really impressed with the writing of this film and the directing of this film. And not that Leonardo DiCaprio was bad, of course, he was phenomenal, but I wasn't distracted by him because most of the time it's like, what is this phenomenal actor doing this like kind of okay movie? And then I rate them high because Leonardo DiCaprio is great. But this one I'm rating high because of the writing and the directing more so than I am because of Leonardo DiCaprio, which I think is a plus. That's up to you to decide. But with that, let's talk about the directing and the writing first. First of all, the writing is mostly just the Shakespeare stuff. I was a little nervous they're going to change the Shakespeare into modern day language. It doesn't always work very well. A lot of the newer translations just aren't very great, especially in comparison to the old Shakespeare shows. But it seems like they kept at least most of the language the same. It was at least in the same tense, I guess is what I would say. So that was good. I was really happy to see that because I was really nervous they were going to kind of screw that up, but they didn't. It was actually kind of okay. It was totally fine. I had no problem watching it. I watched every movie with subtitles on anyway, and I was able to read it while I was watching. This is a movie that I would probably recommend you watch subtitles with, even if you don't normally do that, because the language can be difficult to understand. I took one of my friends to go see a Shakespeare show last winter, and he was very confused the whole time. I was able to follow along because I'm well versed in the old language, and I'm able to pick up quickly. I also was familiar with the story, whereas he had no idea. So I think it's important that if you're not familiar with the language or the show, you probably are going to want to watch it with subtitles. But they moved the old William Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet, which I'm not going to explain the premise of it because you already know what Romeo and Juliet is. If you don't, it's the guy falls in love with a girl and then they both end up killing themselves on accident, kind of. That's pretty much exactly it. But the cool thing about this movie is that they bring it into like the early 2000s, late 1990s. Obviously, 1990s because it wasn't 2000s, but they bring it into this genre almost, and it really impressed me because they were able to do it without changing the language at all by using representation, which I'm doing it for Medea by Euripides for college. So it's nice to see this, and I'll probably input some of that into my presentation for the class. So we'll see if that happens or not. I don't know if it's gonna work. We'll see. But I'm really impressed that it worked for them. Really, honestly, I did not expect it to be that good at all, and it really, really was phenomenal. Let's talk about the acting real quick, real brief, and then I love this camera. And then we will go ahead and wrap it up for the day. All right, cool. First of all, Leonardo DiCaprio as Romeo. Beautiful, love him. Honestly, I don't know if there's a better actor than him. Bryan Cranston is always my favorite actor. Leonardo DiCaprio might be up there. If I could get a movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and Bryan Cranston in it. I would like that very much. Unlikely, but I like it very much. Leonardo DiCaprio just has this air of whimsy with him, where like you know he's being serious all the time, but he's a kid. You know, like right now he is a teenager, and he fits the perfect teenage like stereotype, and it really is quite perfect. And he's just so good at acting. It really isn't fair. I wish I could critique it, but he's so much better than anyone will ever be, except for maybe like the top-notch people. Leonardo DiCaprio, so far in my journey into his acting career, is perfect. Claire Danes as Juliet. So I had not heard of her before. I heard that Leonardo DiCaprio was pulling for her to get this job. So thank you, Leonardo DiCaprio. She was good. I was impressed with how fast and how witty she could make her lines, because it's hard to really understand what you're saying when you're saying Shakespeare. I'm sure they had months of preparation. But regardless, it was still very impressive that she was able to keep up with Leonardo DiCaprio and even Pete, whatever his last name is, that I'll mention in a second here. She was able to keep up with them and really play with them, and it really was quite phenomenal. Pete Postlethwaite. Probably butchered that last name. There's a lot of letters, I'm sorry. But he was Father Lawrence, which in the show, in the original play, it's Friar Lawrence, but they call him Father Lawrence here, which is probably beneficial to the everyday audience because they usually understand what father means in terms of church. And not a lot of people use the term friar anymore. I feel like I've seen him in something before. I can't put my finger on it. I don't know what it was. But he was really, really good. He spoke very well. He spoke in iambic pentameter, which is good because a lot of them didn't, which is fine. You don't have to. I'm not like going to kill somebody if they don't. But it was nice to see that it was there. It was represented, which is nice. And he was really, really great. Fun to watch. Really did enjoy. And then one other quick note about acting. Paul Rudd was there. Why? He was like such a minor role too. He was like Juliet's he was supposed to get married to Juliet. And why was Paul Rudd there? Why is Paul Rudd in half the movies that I review? If you'd like, drop in the comments below. I will do a Paul Rudd series after I'm done with the Steve Carell series. So when I'm done with Steve Carell, I'll do a Paul Rudd series. It shouldn't be too long because we've already done so many of them. I don't know what Paul Rudd is doing in half of these movies. He just shows up. It's not my fault. I don't mean to do this, but he is in a lot of movies. I actually might research what movies he's in that I haven't already reviewed, or I'm going to review by the time Steve Carell's on, because I'm sure there's a lot more. And maybe we'll do that. That seems like a fun thing. I like Paul Rudd. You like Paul Rudd. We all like Paul Rudd, so I don't see a problem. With that, I'm going to give this movie an A. It's not an A+, and here's exactly why. I didn't like some of the action sequences. So in the beginning and the end in particular, these weird transition scenes that they had, I didn't need. They were this weird flashy transition scenes, and they used sped up footage. It's not actually sped up footage, but it is a type of footage where they can render it faster. So it seems like they're moving really, really fast, but they're really just moving at a regular speed. And I think they used it well in some cases, and then in other cases, it was just way too, why would you do that? And there's a lot of transitions that I just really didn't need, that were kind of long. I understand why they were there. They were trying to make the movie exactly 2 hours long, because in the beginning they were like, oh, he's got to be 2 hours long. It's a 2 hour long stage play, whatever, which is fine. But I really didn't need the transition. They should have added something to, the Masquerade or something, instead of making all these really crazy, weird, almost minute-long transitions. But that was the only negative, and honestly, it was kind of a big negative. But it's still an A, which is really good. So, Romeo and Juliet, you should be proud of yourself. That's all I have for you today. Coming up, we have a week full of regular stuff. We have a Marvel thing. We have a request. We have a Steve Carell, and we have a Leonardo DiCaprio this week to end up the week. And then starting Monday, we have a 12 Days of Christmas special, which for those of you who don't know already, we are doing The Grinch, Elf, Home Alone 2, Let It Snow, Jack Frost, It's a Wonderful Life, The Polar Express, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, A Christmas Carol, The Christmas Chronicles, and The Christmas Chronicles Part 2. All in the 12 days of Christmas, leading up to and including Christmas, which will end on a Friday, actually, so that'll be really nice, so we can just take the weekend to recover, and then continue on with the same pattern I've been doing recently. If you guys have any input on what you want, we want to see, any kind of structure to the channel that you might see being better than what I'm doing, go ahead and drop it in the comments. I am not going to be mad, of course, if you're like, I hate this structure. Totally, this is an interactive site we're using. It's YouTube. It is an UsTube. So if you have any input as to how we could better structure the channel to make it work better for me and make it work better for you, I'm all ears. I'm still going to stick to the Monday through Friday schedule, except for series, which I do include weekends. But if you have any idea on better intervals to release different types of reviews, that'd be helpful. And maybe you're good at that, maybe you're not, but I would like the input, regardless. Subscribe. I know a lot of you aren't subscribed. It's kind of depressing, actually. Hopefully now the production value has gone up. You will subscribe. I'd like that. Join the Facebook group, link in the description below, to keep up with all things Robert's Reviews. I will post interactive content on there. I'm going to be posting a thing on there probably... I'll probably post it on Christmas. So look out for that. It'll just be a little thing. And I'm quite excited. Should be going. It's going to be prepping up for a little bit of a Valentine's thing. I'm not going to really say it yet because I haven't figured out all the details yet. But it's a little bit of a Valentine's Day little series. It's a mini-series. But anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you all have a fantastic day. What is it, a Monday? Monday. Hope you all have a fantastic week. And I'll see you guys later this week. I've got 4 more videos coming out this week, and I hope you guys enjoy those. And as always, keep watching movies and films, stay educated, and I will see you guys in the next video.